Hello my fellow developers, welcome again. So now it's time to actually work on the layout of the admin dashboard page. So if you go back right here inside the dashboard, then admin, we have this layout created right here. Let's start actually working here. So we're going to create a sort of layout, but before that, let's add some authorization right here. So what we're going to say something like block none. So I can't even see my keyboard, just give me a second. So block none admins from accessing the admin dashboard. So we're gonna get the current user that is logged in, and if you are not admin, you're just simply gonna go to redirect it back to the home page. So we're gonna go const and then user, then await, then current user. We have to protect our pages, so we're gonna do that. So simply we are using await, so we're gonna make sure this function is asynchronous, and we have the user right now. So if you've seen the previous video, we just simply check. So if we don't have any user, and also we can check if the user dot private metadata dot row right here, if it's different than the admin. So if you are not an admin, simply you're not going to be allowed here. And what we're going to do is just simply redirect you back to the home page. So anyone that is an admin will be allowed, but if you are not an admin, you're not going to be allowed. So we're not going to use this redirect. We're going to use the redirect from next navigation like this. So that is the first part. Now I want to go right here at the class name here. So we're going to add the width for right here and then the height for. What I'm trying to do is create a layout where the left side they have the sidebar, and on top right here we have the header, and then the space left is going to be for our pages. Okay, so let me remove children from here, and we're going to add that later. So right here we're going to have the left sidebar. So this one is going to be for our sidebar, and then after that we're just going to have another part. So this is the left part. Now the right part, I'm just going to have a width for div right here, because it's going to be on the right. We're going to push it as much space as we give for the sidebar, and the sidebar is going to have 300 pixels. So we have to simply just go right here and then margin left, and then we're going to push it from the left side 300 pixels. Very simple and understandable. Now on the top, so after we go to the right side right here on the top, we're going to have the header. So we can say right now here we're just going to have the header, and then under that we're going to have our page. Okay, and this one is going to also have the width for. So everything in the children is going to be inside here. So children here, and after the width for, we have to push like from the top a bit, because we're going to have there the header. We're going to push it so margin top, and then 75 pixels. Everything is going to make sense. If you've seen the trailer of this course, you've seen the dashboard, and you know on the left side we have the sidebar, and then on the right side on top we have the header, and then the space left is going to be for the children, which is simply the pages. Okay, so the structure is always going to have the sidebar and the header. So now let's actually work on this header. So I'm just going to go under here and let's create this component. So this is the component that we'll create, which is going to be the dashboard header. To create that, we're going to actually go back now. Let me close this, go back to our components, and we're going to create a new folder. This is simply going to be for our dashboard components right here. So for the dashboard components, we're going to actually go inside of here, and for the header, for the dashboard like this. And then we're going to create a new file. We're going to call it header.tsx, and simply for the header, we can just go RFC. And this one, let's call it header. You can call it dashboard header, but just simply knowing if you have like other place, you have another component that is called header, that's fine. Just simply know from two imports. Okay, so I know, so I'm just gonna keep it like this. So this is the header, and I'm gonna start working right here. So I'm gonna go for a class name, so it's gonna be a fixed div, and then we're gonna make sure it's sub on everything. So we're gonna give it z index of 20, and then on medium screen we're just gonna go from the left. So because in the beginning the header is going to be like simply from the left, okay, because the sidebar is not going to be showing on a small screen. But when we are on a large screen, which is simply starting from medium, we're going to push the header, because the sidebar is going to take that place when we go to our medium screen. I feel like this is very simple to understand. So from the left side, we're just simply going to push it the width of the sidebar, which is 300 pixels as I mentioned, and we're going to make sure it is fixed. So it is fixed from the left to 0, and also from the top to be 0. And also from right to be 0 like this. And then for the padding, we're gonna have 4, and then we're gonna give it bg background. And if you wonder what is the background right here, so let me just go back to our source and then app, and you go back to your globals.css, and you can see all the variables right here. These simply are added by default using chat.cn. So simply the background, this is the HSL value. You can just simply take that and go to Google and look for HCL to hex and see the values, how they are in hex, and see the actual color. So, and you will see it directly now. So I'm just gonna go and just have 80% of that. And then also we're gonna have a backdrop blur, so we're just gonna add this effect, so backdrop blur, and we're gonna give it a medium, so it's gonna be a medium backdrop blur, and then simply we're gonna give it flex, and also we're gonna have a gap of 4. We're gonna have items to be center, and on the header probably we're gonna have few items. We're not gonna have any space between them other than the gap 4, so we're not gonna use any justify. I'm just gonna add a border from the bottom side, so border, and then from bottom, and this one is gonna be 1 pixel, okay, like that. So this is the first div of the header. Now inside of it, we're just gonna have another div. So this one is gonna be on the far right, which is gonna have 2 things. It's gonna be the user button, which is the one from clerk, and also we're gonna have our theme toggle. So for this one, we're just gonna have flex, and then also gonna have items center. So item center like this, and also gonna have a gap between them, so a gap 2, and then also margin left is gonna be auto, so it's gonna be pushed from the left. And then also right here, we're just gonna have the user button. Okay, this is the user button, and then simply after you sign out, you can pass this property. So when a user use this user button to sign out, after they sign out, where we're gonna redirect them, we're gonna redirect them to /. So this header component right now, if we actually import it, so let me go right and import it from, remember, component dashboard and then header. So let's save that. Now let's actually see the changes that we have on our application. So we have added the header, so let's see the changes. So I'm going to go back to my application, and as you can see on the admin dashboard, I have the header right here and the user button here. So this is on the right side because now we are on a medium screen, so it starts to push it right here because this side is going to be for the sidebar. So this is how to know. So if I am on a mobile screen, this is how it's going to show from the left side, but if I am on a medium screen and up, I will see it this way. So I'm zoomed in a bit to see it, but this is how normally it looks because I have an ultra wide screen, so I have to actually zoom in for you to see what's going on. Okay, so we have it on the right side, and that's the only thing that we're gonna have. We're gonna also have the theme toggle, so I'm just gonna go back right here. So inside the header again, I'm gonna go under here. I'm just gonna call this components because we already created that. So theme toggle from the shared components, and then just simply save. Now going back to my application, you will see that I also have this button right here. Okay, so like this, and let me see how it looks. Yeah, it looks good. So probably this is your preferable mode as me, and this is how it looks. That's good. We now have to actually work on the left side. So this place that you see right here, this is gonna be for this the sidebar. So the left side right here is gonna be the sidebar, and as you can see, the rest of the space from this side here and also from the top, all of this is gonna be for the pages or the content that is gonna be changing, and the layout will always preserve this header and the sidebar. Only these parts will change.